Sorry about the delay, Pete, but thank you for being here with us tonight.
Oh, no problem. It's
We
a
know
pleasure.
that you had a Bigfoot encounter. When did this happen?
That would have been the exact date would have been December 1st, 2009,
Okay.
and I
And it
used to.
happened. Where did this happen? Sorry.
Yeah, it was in Freedom, Maine, on Route 137, and I was actually working out at the school out in Thorndike, and I was heading home and driving through Freedom. I noticed earlier that morning when I was coming in, I saw some cars on the side of the road. I was looking for a vehicle for my son, and so I decided I was going to stop and take a look at them on the way home. So when I got there, I pulled over to the side on the opposite side of the road to look at them, and at that same time I saw some movement up ahead, and um, I did a double take. Luckily, there was nothing coming towards me or behind me, but it just caught me funny there. This bipedal creature walking across the road, two or three hops, and he was in the tree line already. Um, it was as if he didn't want anything to do with me; he just kept on his business. But I just went to where he went into the woods, got out of my truck, walked to the edge of the woods there, and looked in, and he's just a trudging through, just trying to get out of, you know, get away from me as far as he can. Just kept on trudging through and didn't care if he was making noise or not. Um, Actually had me a little bit rattled. Um, wasn't anything that I was expecting. Um, I didn't even tell my wife for a couple of days. It was one of those things I really had to think about for a while. Um, Doing some research, I had found out that um, a bus driver from that same school district that lives in that area had the same type of encounter a couple of years prior in the morning. Um, was walking along a tree line. It came to the edge of the road. It turned around and went back in. She went and got her husband and son, and they followed the footprints for about a mile before they lost it. So that kind of got me thinking there's something there. Um, Talking to a few other people, um, one particular friend of mine, Mike, was telling me that there's been some sightings in Unity Plantation, and that he thinks that they're trying to protect them. That nobody wants you out there to look at, look on the grounds or whatever. I don't blame them. Um, I'm kind of that way too. So yeah, it was life changing for me at that point. Of course, I've been called crazy and stupid and all that stuff, but and even my father was trying to tell me it was a moose. Said moose don't walk on 2 feet, Dad. But yeah, it's there's been other sightings in that area too that I've heard of, and a lot of it has to do with kids getting on the bus and people seeing them after the bus leaves. It's like they're watching the kids get on the bus. It's weird, but I've been trying to get in that area to take a inspect it, but everything's posted. Nobody wants you in there. You find the right people, they don't want you in there. Not much you can do about it. So,
Pete, could you describe the creature for us from head to toe as much as possible?
yep, he was tall. Now, when he went into the woods, he had moved and I say he, I'm assuming it was a he, um, but he had moved a branch going into the woods. And when I went back to measure, it was a good 7 feet up. So he was probably 8, maybe 9 feet tall. Um, Black hair. The hair wasn't very long on his face, but the skin under the hair on his face was light colored, wasn't black or anything like that. Um, the hair on his arms that I saw was actually long, so it was like flowing from underneath. So when he was moving, you saw it, moving around. Um, but I saw it. It didn't seem like a long time, but it was enough that I could tell it wasn't anything I've seen before. It wasn't an ape. Um, Although, a lot of hair, everybody would have thought it was an ape, but no, no, this was something different.
Were you able to get a look at its face and see any details of its face?
It looked at me. It didn't have the face of a gorilla. It more looked like, um, I'm going to say more towards like a Neanderthal type person than anything. Um, it, yeah, that's basically the only way I could explain that. I've talked to other people too, and they kind of describe it the same way. Um, Although I've heard people say more like a gorilla. That wasn't my experience.
Yeah, we've heard that Neanderthal look,
Mm-hmm.
Aborigines look,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing. Ancient man look
Yes.
is what people describes. A bigger nose,
Yep.
bigger, flatter nose, uh, maybe big black eyes. I don't know.
Yep.
Um, there's a lot of sightings in Maine. We've had quite a few people on the show
Yep.
already that have seen those creatures up there. And looking at a map, I can see how Maine could definitely be full of Bigfoot creatures roaming around. There's so much wilderness and density there,
Oh
and you're
yeah.
right there with connected to Canada. I
Yes.
mean, they can just come on down through,
Oh yeah.
So I'm not
Yep.
surprised. And a lot of people think about Maine, and correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't most of the population along the coast there,
Yep.
pretty much, and the inland's just
It's sparse. There's not many people that live inland or northwest Maine. Um, it's pretty vast, and I mean I've lived here my whole life, and I haven't seen everything in Maine yet, and that's what I'm working on right now. I need to explore a little bit. Um, yeah, it is incredible when you see something like that. It does change your life. It gives you a different perspective from what you've been taught and what you've actually experienced. Um, and that's why I joined up the local Bigfoot group, and we've been doing stuff ever since.
So you have been getting out and
Yep, yep,
researching some more?
yep. I don't know if I could say my group, but yeah, it's Maine Bigfoot Foundation. We are a nonprofit organization.
Yeah, we know them.
Yeah.
Good people.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
okay. That's your group. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we've interviewed mhm. I'll think
Probably
of it here in a
Michael.
minute. We've interviewed Michael.
Yep.
Was it what was her name?
Janelle.
Yes. Michael
Yep.
and Janelle. Yes, we've
Yep.
interviewed them as well. So
Yep. Michael and Janelle were the founders of the organization because they each had their own group that they were trying to manage, and they decided to get them together. I came in shortly afterwards, and now we have a board that's I think it's 14 people on the board. Um, Unfortunately, Janelle had some things to take care of, so she had to resign from the board. She was president. I am now the president of the board. We do investigations. They're going to Lake St. George this weekend, rain or shine. Um, I'm still recovering from knee replacement surgery, so my my trips are going to be few and far this year. Um, but we keep getting um, stories from people left and right. A lot of the stories start coming out in the wintertime, and then that helps us plan our trips there for the better weather. Um, it's funny how we tell people we don't ridicule you at all. Um, and I told them I don't have a filter, and I don't care what people think about me and what my thoughts are. I'm just too old to think, to worry about that. But people are coming out of the woodwork, and that's what I like to see. When you have somebody like myself, Michael, and we've run into quite a few other people, lifetime outdoorsmen hunting their whole life, and then they see these things and they don't know what to think, but then they start talking about it and they do get excited. So um, this is a great group. I really love it.
Did you believe in Bigfoot before you saw Bigfoot?
Um, I don't know if I actually believed it. I think I was of the, if I didn't see it, nah, Um, I mean, growing up as a kid, we watched all these monster movies. Search for Sasquatch was one of the bigger ones. Uh, and you look at it now and how cheesy it was. But um, yeah, I just didn't know. It was, like I said, it changed my perspective on things. And I'm one of those guys that I don't mind going out in the woods by myself. I've camped out in the woods by myself, nobody around. Never seen anything like this. So not until then.
You definitely want to see another one, though, of course.
Yes. Yeah. We've done some investigations that we've come close. Um, we've had uh, stuff thrown at us, tree branches thrown into camp, trees knocked over. We found some. I had to leave early one day on one morning from one of our investigations, and they found some footprints behind my truck, where it was anyway. And I never saw it before, but yeah, it's just. uh, yeah, there's just been so many things. The hollering in the middle of the night. We're starting to come up with funds there to buy equipment. Um, I've had to foot the bill for a lot of my stuff, and some of the other people have done their own, and um, we're starting to put stuff out there and get more noises, sounds, going through and just having to listen and see what we can pick up that we normally didn't hear before. Um, New on the arsenal is a 360-degree camera, uh, game camera that it sees any type of movement. It'll either take a picture wherever that movement was, or it'll take a 360-degree picture, and it's accessible by cell. So we're hoping that we can get something like that um, this year. There's a couple of us that have three of those units that we're going to start putting out here soon. So
Cool. Very cool.
yeah,
So you said it took you a couple days to tell anybody, and you told
yeah,
your wife.
yeah.
Uh, did it take you a couple days just because you had to keep pondering in your head? Did I really see that? Is
Uh,
that why?
yeah, I was trying to come up with some other alternate. What could it be? Somebody in a suit? No, that was too big. Um, I'm kind of a logical type of guy, and trying to find anything else that it could be, and there was nothing at all.
So what did your wife say when you told her?
She didn't say too much. Yeah, she I think she thoroughly believes now. especially with some of the stuff I've, the pictures and the prints that we've cast and all that. Um, but I don't think she thought I was crazy. I think she just wanted to make sure what I saw is what I saw. Um, yeah, it's
You ever get her out in the woods with you?
um, not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, she'll go camping, and I picked up a small off-road camper. So I'm hoping to get her out on something that's not too remote and maybe go out, and meet some of the people that I know. She's met a few of them elsewhere, but I'd like to get her out there. I mean, we're empty nesters now, and we've got a couple little wiener dogs, and throw them in the camper, and there we go.
Do you guys ever get reports or sightings of dogman up in your area?
We have talked to some people up in the Skowhegan and Canaan area that have seen um, a dog man. There was one, I think, person was from Clinton there that they were driving the road and it was actually running alongside of it. Um, but I haven't really talked to them in depth about it. We've had people talking about Wendigos. Um, I think Sydney is where people have seen them, Wendigos. I've never seen one, but I mean, trying to figure out what these footprints are, I've never seen anything like it. But but yeah, the dog man, we've talked to a few people, and but it's not so widely talked about, and it's only the only place I've heard of them was in the Clinton Canaan area. Yeah.
Is that farther up north?
Yeah, it's not that far away from us, maybe 10, 15 miles from here.
Oh, it's not far. Yeah.
No, it isn't. No. But
I mean, yeah, you guys are, people don't think about it, but you go look in the Maine there. I mean, you're up by Quebec City and all
yeah,
that, and then just north of that is just a vast, Canadian wilderness up
yeah,
there, and anything could be up there. Anything could trickle down.
yeah,
Hell, anything could be in the state of Maine for that matter. Like I said, there's so much
yeah,
vastness and stuff out there.
yeah, yeah. There's, I like going bird hunting, and I've gone up into the Allagash area, and that just seems like a perfect place for a group to be. I'd like to go up there this year, maybe do some searching around. Um, but we'll see. I'm still
Make sure.
working. I'm sorry. I'm still
Oh, go
working full
ahead.
time. Yeah, I'm still working full time. So sometimes it's hard for me to get out and do some things. So
Oh yeah, we know. We know. It is. It's pretty much a weekend thing if you get to
yeah,
get the chance,
yeah.
honestly. But forgot what I was going to ask you now. Hmm. Oh, so looking like we were talking about the map and the vastness and stuff, and the more and more Bigfoot encounters that we're hearing all the time.
Mhm,
Obviously, the population is growing as our
mhm.
population is growing. Do you think there's a lot more Bigfoot out there than people realize?
I think so. I mean, I've talked to people. They think there's thousands of them. I don't think there's probably that many, but I think there is a population of probably a nomadic groups, maybe several of them that they travel in family packs, and that would explain my sighting and the sightings in Unity, Burnham. You can draw a straight line right through that. People have seen them in Burnham crossing the highway, I-95. So, um, yeah, I've heard of people seeing them in Skowhegan and north from there, where we're going to be going to the Forks there in a couple of months as well. Um, a lot of wide open space, wide open forest.
Yeah, and if I remember right, what was the name of the town? Freedom.
Freedom.
Okay, so looking at, oh, that says Freeport. Hold on a second. There we go. Okay. Okay, yeah, you guys are okay, but still looking at Freedom where that's at on the map and in Maine, that is way far south and very close
To,
to, a lot of towns and everything. Why
right,
is a Bigfoot hanging out there? He's got that
yeah,
whole state of Maine north of you, um, and all
right.
that wilderness to be in. Why are people seeing them down in those towns and everything so close to the water like that? You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
yeah, I think in that area though, and my wife can attest to this. When her and I were driving back and forth to work um, in the Unity Plantation, you could drive through there and see 80 to 150 deer in the fields. I think your food source is there.
So they're following the animal, the deers down there.
Mhm.
I mean, that being said, there could still be a way ton more up north.
Oh yeah,
There's deer and everything up there too. But
yep,
yeah,
yep.
um, it makes you wonder if they're that close to towns and everything, and
Mhm.
how many more are out there in the vastness that we don't
Right,
know about.
right. Yeah, right. They're gonna go where they can easily feed, be comfortable, um, and I think they're in places where people aren't going to bug them as much. They might run into a few people, but you know, they scare them off somehow, and that's it.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I like poking the bear a little bit now.
Do you think there's a magical side to Bigfoot? Do you believe in any of that stuff?
um, I don't discount it, although I've never really thought about that. Um, my theory is kind of lines up with your Native American stories, where they're probably an ancient group of Indians per se, um, long forgotten, and the stories that the Native Americans have on these creatures support it. They talk about um, these bigger people that would teach them how to do things. Also, the bad part of another group there coming down from the mountains to feed on them as well. So those stories are out there.
Yeah, I believe what you said there about an ancient tribe of
Mhm.
beings. I think they've been around for quite a while, and
Yep,
we've kind of come over and interrupted their lifestyle. You
yep,
know, and they probably did get along with the Indians,
yep,
maybe. I don't know, but
yeah,
there is some connection to that too. Brian and I have talked about that before. This Indian thing, this
yep,
Indian burial ground
mhm,
with the creatures and dogmen and
mhm.
shapeshifters and all that stuff. There's some weirdness to that. There's
Oh
there's just
yeah,
there just is.
yeah. Oh, I know. It's it is kind of mystical in a way. But you know, I don't. There could be something to this cloaking, like people have been talking about. They disappear in front of you. That's a possibility. I mean, we don't know everything. You have animals that can just disappear because chameleons change their skin color, bang, done, they're gone. We just don't know whether they're interdimensional. Now, I've heard of that. I don't know. I haven't seen that, so until I witness that, I can't say yes or no.
Right. I mean, that's really all we all have is just speculation at this point,
Yeah,
until
yeah. So this year, I mean, we're hoping to. We've got a good group of people that we're hoping to get more um, uh, documentation. We have another gentleman that wants to do some of the eDNA testing on one of our trips. Hopefully, he can afford it. I know it's fairly expensive to do, but um, yeah, that's where it comes into play. It costs money to get all this stuff tested, and
I don't know, man. That eDNA, it sounds good in theory, but
yeah,
I just I don't trust it myself. It's just
yeah.
too
Well,
easy to contaminate. You know what I mean?
oh yeah. I mean, it picks up everything. So
Yeah.
um, yeah,
I mean, it's good in theory. It's good,
yeah,
and maybe someday they'll get it figured
mhm,
out. But right now,
yeah,
there's just too much.
yeah. I mean, unless we have a body, I'm not saying go out and shoot one. We don't need to do that. I don't want to do it. I don't want to deal with that. But um, physical evidence is what we need. But I'm also going to protect it too. If for some reason a body came into play, I might document it and stuff, but we're going to keep it secret. It's
That's
it's something.
exactly what I would do. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Again, I don't want to. Everybody's like, "Oh, let's go shoot one." No, no. They are, even though they're not a real animal of the world. I believe there are laws in place that protect them. Animals that could be endangered. Obviously, if they haven't seen it and then they find one, it's endangered immediately because they've only seen one. I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that. Um, I've heard of stories of them being shot back in the 1800s up north from here. The woodsman there that shot a body, and nobody seems to know where it is.
Yeah, I imagine that happened a lot when
Mm.
uh, we first came over,
Oh yeah.
colonized. People were seeing these things and freaking out, thinking they're monsters and shooting them.
Yep.
And then I think as time went on and as government formed and societies formed, we started realizing, the
Mm-hmm.
people that knew about it would be like, hey, these things, we need to keep these things on the down low. We don't need to be killing these things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this kind of goes against history and everything else.
Yep.
So
Yep.
let's just keep it hush hush and let's form these little nature sanctuaries,
Yep.
thousands of acres of woodland they can just roam around in and do their thing in,
Yep. Yep.
which
Yep.
isn't a bad thing, but
Well.
I don't like the fact that we're kept in the dark about it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I know that they've, those when it gets back to the giants, the giant skeletons that have been excavated over the last couple hundred years there that were taken over, sent to the Smithsonian, and then, oh, they're gone. Um, and they're well documented. Um, that's what I don't understand. But people are looking for them, and nobody seems to know where they are. They're stuck somewhere in a warehouse, in a box.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's somewhere in the world there's a room that has a Bigfoot, a dog man, a Loch Ness monster,
Mm-hmm.
everything you can
Oh
imagine.
yeah,
Or that we've
yeah,
that we've got. I've heard stories about
yeah,
the government having Bigfoot and
yep.
containing them,
Oh yeah,
capturing and containing them and studying them.
yeah, yep. The stories about Mount St. Helens, the explosion, and removing bodies. I mean, not all these people can be wrong. I mean, they've seen them.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Pete, we want to thank you for being on the show with us tonight, man.
well, thank you, thank
Appreciate
you.
you coming on.
Hey, could I say something about what we were trying to do this fall?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Well, uh, a lady up in Stratton wanted to do something. She was asking us an awful lot about Bigfoot. The kids were, her kids were really interested in it. And we did a town hall meeting up there last fall, and we had about 35 people, which was pretty good. And every one of them wholeheartedly believe, have seen, the whole 9 yards. Well, they wanted to do a festival. So this spring, we started planning for a festival this fall. Didn't give us a whole lot of time to plan or get speakers or whatever, but we're putting a festival together, and it's October 18th and 19th up in Stratton. So if anybody's around that wants to come up, they can. We're trying to get some speakers. Lauren Coleman has said he would do it, and we're speaking to a few other people. So right now, money talks. I've got to find the funds to get some speakers in there. But we're going to do things all around the town, stuff for the kids to do. Probably do some walking out in the woods there on Sunday morning. But already we've seen a big uptick in people interested in it. It's 2,700 people have responded that they want to be there. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it didn't take very long to get there either.
Do you have a picture? Do you have artwork or anything yet?
I'm working on that right now.
When you do, send it to us, and we'll get it out there for you. We'll help
Yeah.
you.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, we just I think we're going to be charging for the speakers, depending on how much it is. But for the most part, you come up and do stuff. Just come on up and have fun. So I think people will have some fun.
Oh yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a decent crowd for your first festival. Are you calling it anything special?
Just Maine's Bigfoot Festival.
Okay, yeah.
We were just throwing it out there. We were just going to see what happens, and then oh my God, we've got so many people that are interested. And Sugarloaf Mountain is right there as well, so they're helping us out. And I've been sending out letters there to see if we can get people to sponsor us, so we can get some of these speakers to come out.
All right. As soon as you get a picture and stuff, get it to us, and we'll spread the word.
Okay. Well, thank you guys.
Yeah. You can also join our group page on Facebook if you haven't already, Cryptid Creatures.
Yeah.
And you can post it on there as well with all the information too. Yeah. Have you thought about having vendor tables out there as well? You can charge for that. And
yeah. We're doing vendor tables. Those people are coming out of the woodwork too.
Good.
Yeah, that's always good.
A lot of Bigfoot merchandise, candy, like homemade candies. We're doing T-shirts, but they're starting to trickle in now. So I'm hopeful there within the next month or so there that most of these start coming in heavy, and we can get something solidified.
Awesome.
How far of a drive is that?
For us, yeah, it's a few 13, 15-hour drive, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah. For me, it's
if not, we'd be there.
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half from here, so that's really not that far.
Right.
But yeah, it's
cool, man. Well, thanks again for being on with us, dude.
Well, thank you for having me. Yeah. This was fun.
Yeah,
it's a pleasure. Yeah, we'll spread the word for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe we can do this again if I find anything interesting.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Definitely stay in touch. Let us know.
Yeah. You see something or whatever, you get a hold of us, and we'll see what's happening. All right, man.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good night. Right, take care.
Yeah, you too.
Have a good one.
Thanks.
Hope your knee's feeling better.
Oh, thank you.